Or they try to.
Welcome to a segment of Pittsburgh Business Virgin. I'm your host, Brad Hillbert. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Nick Cortazzo. And we're really happy to have in studio today Diane Daniels of DID and Associates. So thank you for coming down and being a part of the show, Diane.
I'm very happy to be here.
Well, we're pleased to have you. We're going to start with our usual first question for any of our guests. Give us some background on your company. How'd you get it started? What is it that you do? Give us a feel for DID and Associates.
Well, DID and Associates, I'm very happy. Next month, I will be celebrating 28 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people watching this video are thinking about starting a company, and they only wish they can say that they've been in business for 28 years. That's wonderful.
Well, it's been a good task. It's been a lot of fun. But basically, DID and Associates, my motto is I promote, publicize, and popularize. Marketing and PR is my specialty. PR, old school. That's one thing I believe in old school. I'm an old school music girl. But I do a lot of media relations. I put people on the TV. I write, do ad campaigns, anything you could think of in the public relations. I get the word out on who you are, what you do, how you do it.
Now, off camera, we were talking about you're very sort of hands-on with the people you're working with, because at any given one time, you'll only work with 4 or 5 people. Is that correct?
Right, or different businesses. My focus is small businesses and nonprofits. Yeah. And I do that focus because I am a small business myself, so I know what businesses are going through. I know what the struggle. Yeah. I know their budget, small. Sure. Yeah. So I can give you good quality work on with your small budget, and then when you're ready to really grow, if my business can't any longer help you, then I know that next mid-sized business that I could take you to. So sure. I really like to focus with the small businesses.
So whether you can help them or, I mean, it comes down to you'll help them or help them. So in other words, you'll help them personally with your company, and when you no longer can help them, you'll help them meet that next contact or that next group that will take them to the next level.
Right. I want to help them grow.
Awesome.
So as I grow, they grow. And if you have to move on, then that's a great thing, because then I know that my job has been done in a very efficient way.
Diane, how'd you get into this business? I mean, if we go back 28 years ago, you know, what made you, was it by chance, or did you just fall into it, or is it something you had an idea that you went with?
I've always known that I wanted to write from high school. I knew I wanted to do some type of business from the influences in my life. My dad was a drummer. He worked in the steel mill all my life. My mom did not work, so my dad had a lot of pride, and he wanted my mom to always look good. So she was always in church fashion shows. So as a small child, I was a roadie. So I got to see how the business really operated, not knowing that I was being developed at that time. So as things went on, and my dad was booking groups and managing groups, and we're running his drums out, and we're meeting people, I was developing. And then
you were learning networking.
I was learning and networking. I'm a networker to my heart as a result of that. So as all these things were happening, and my mom was putting these fashion shows together and having me do different things, and we've always were involved in the church. So as having that talent to write, that was a good thing. One of my role models is Judge Cynthia Baldwin, former Judge Cynthia Baldwin. She was my Sunday school teacher, and she made me write, and we had to do it properly. So as a result, I always knew I wanted to write. So as I rolled on through high school, one time we had to write an essay. And when I wrote that essay, my mom gave it to a person that worked for CCAC, and he published that essay in a newspaper called Now. I'm originally from McKeesport, Pennsylvania, and when
your
he
neck of the woods,
Mr. from Portview.
Oh, okay. And when he published that article in that magazine, and my mother was sending that magazine to our relatives and sending it out through the church, I knew from then that that's what I wanted
And just
to
so
do.
people know, you've been writing for the new Pittsburgh Courier for 30 years.
At least 30 years,
Yeah.
yes, throughout my career, yes.
And you do a weekly article for the business section?
Yes, right now I do a weekly article for the business section. But when I started out with them, it was entertainment. My dad was in the entertainment. So I started out with them taking pictures and writing entertainment stories. So people like George Benson, Phyllis Hyman, I was writing those stories about them. But that was after I graduated from college. I went to Wilberforce University. I became the editor of their newspaper. I came out, I wrote for the McKeesboro Daily News and just developed from there. I worked for the Daily News for 1 year. And had a lot of fun. I freelanced for the Courier all at the same time. Then there was a guy named Stanley Lowe. I will always remember him. He used to work for the Housing Authority. He stole me from the Daily News, took me to the Manchester Citizens Corporation. I'm young, fresh out of college. Gave me a camera and told me, just go tell our story. At that time, Manchester was in the heat of their redevelopment. They were doing a lot of things historically. And all I had to do was tell the story. So this young girl, all I did was had a paper, and I just hung out in the streets.
A lot of experience during that time.
I just hung out in the streets, and the people just told me their stories. And that's basically how I started. When Reagan was elected, Stanley sat us down. He said, look, things will never be the same as the economy was. And we said, okay. He said, there's going to be some layoffs. I don't know when and who will be first. But when my time came, it'll be 28 years ago in July. And that's when I went out and I started just doing things. I took all
Got laid off and said, well, hell, I'll go do start my own business.
And I didn't even know I was doing a business then. Everything that I did as a volunteer, writing press releases for people, just introducing people to the media, I just started doing. And as a result.
Hang on to that thought, because we're going to come back, because you're kind of at that point where you're talking about starting your own business. And we want to get some advice from you for the people that might be watching this video of what should they be thinking about when they go and they start their business. So we're going to be right back with Diane Daniels, and it's DID Associates. And you can take a look at her company and her website at www.didassociates.net. And you can also get a hold of Diane at 412-241-4436. We'll be right back with Diane.